what's on your shelf today is at the 2025 Macondo Literary Festival. And I'm here with the founders who are going to let us know who they are and also just take a journey through the years of this festival. So, just to introduce yourself kindly.
I'm Yvonne Adhiambo Awar, an author.
And?
I'm Anja Bengelsdorf, I'm a journalist, and we both are the founders of the festival.
So, just a quick, for somebody who is meeting or hearing about Macondo Festival today, give us a little background of Macondo Festival.
This festival is basically a result of two friends being frustrated with Nairobi not having a literary festival. This frustration took place in 2018 when we didn't really have one. Of course, today it's different, but then we just couldn't stop. And we wanted to, our initial idea was to do away with the perception that African literature is only written in English. So we invited authors from the African continent who write in languages that are different from English but are translated into English, because this is the festival language. And then we also wanted to always have African literatures and futures at the center from an African perspective. So all our 5 festivals, this is the 5th this year, have this big question at the basis. And the biggest question actually is, what makes us human in this time?
What are some of the current trends that you can really look at and appreciate that you only came to learn about after beginning this journey with the festival?
There's been a terrible assumption that Kenyans don't read, which I don't know where that mythology comes from. But Kenyans read. Kenyans read, and Kenyans are avid consumers of story, right? So that was part of the thing, when we're speaking with Anya, that's one of the things we needed to prove. We no longer need to prove that because that is self-evident.
Talk to me about also the kids' literature, because that is something I was specifically planning to talk about. And personally, I have a daughter who is an avid reader. And
Why don't you? Yeah.
There's a gap in finding a material, age-appropriate material. And what's your observation and looking at what you guys have experienced so far on how do we go about it, or what are the opportunities that are available in that space?
The opportunities are huge, and I cannot explain why we are not doing more around children's literature. It's a great puzzle for me, given that it is it's also a lucrative niche. I don't.
Speaking about
the Kenyan book sector. It's not just the book sector, children's book sector in Kenya, but the world of children's literature is a very universal one. I do not know why we're not doing enough of it. I don't know if it's a lack of information, or people think that books are only for adults. It is exactly as you say. But having said that, I've noticed an uptake and an increase in children's books production, and certainly also within the graphic novel world, which you can also see here. It can only grow from height to height, and we have a greater interest now from those from the rest of the world, like the Astrid Lindgren Foundation, that provide I'll state it here so those who are interested in children's literature can hear it. They have a 500,000 euro prize for children's literature, as a children's literature prize. So start getting on with the creation of the works. But yes, it's a great opportunity, and I hope more people hearing this may be willing to look at it.
Thank you so much. I'm sure we can talk until evening. Anya and Yvonne, founders of Macondo Festival. It happens every year, every September. Mark your calendars. If you missed the one for this year, please don't miss the one for next year. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you so much.
All right. For somebody meeting you today for the very first time, introduce yourself and what you do.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sana. I'm the founder of Pocket Libraries, a non-profit library that actually works like a library. We're a tiny but mighty library at Jaffrey's in 209 State House. Yeah.
Tell us about Pocket Library.
So Pocket Library has been around for about 2 years now. We actually started off because we wanted to show everyone that a library doesn't have to be this big thing to make reading accessible. It can actually be a small thing. And we really wanted to get people reading, especially young people and everyone. And we wanted it to be more generous than it is now. Books are very expensive. And so instead of paying 3,000 bob for a book, what if you got a 3-month membership for 3,000 bob, and you can borrow books if you're a fast reader, one book for over 2 days, for example. And we actually did it. So we have over 2,000 books right now, and we have the newest books as well. We have membership models for adults, for toddlers, for teens and tweens. For teens and tweens, it's actually half the price. And we just really want to get people reading. We're non-profit, which means that we have free reading at the library. You don't have to pay. Just come and sit at the library, read for as long as you want. That's totally free. We have free coloring for kids, free Wi-Fi. We're trying to make everything community-oriented.
All right.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions are running up and down my head. But this is what's on your shelf. Let me ask you. So what's on your shelf?
I love that question. So right now I'm reading Brotherless Night by Vivi Ganesh. I don't remember I can't say her last name, but she's a Sri Lankan author, and she talks about like the plight of the Tamil tigers. It's a historical fiction, if I'm not wrong. I just started it, so I can't really say much, but it is excellent right now. I absolutely love it. I was also listening to an audiobook, Strangers Drowning. It's about what does it mean to be a good person. So that's a really big one for me. Yeah, and then if I had to recommend a book that's always on my shelf is Reading Lolita in Tehran by Azar Nafisi. It's a non-fiction book about a literature teacher who's told she can't teach certain books, so she teaches them in her home and brings her students home to talk about them, and that's an excellent book.
Somebody's watching you today and is trying to understand the concept. Maybe just you break it down to how it works.
Yeah.
Perhaps if somebody wants to join, where do they find you, and how does it work?
Yeah.
And is there any fee? Is there any payment? Is there any subscription or something like that?
Okay,
All right.
I got you. So Pocket Libraries is a tiny but mighty library. We're located at Jaffrey's Sports Club, where people go running, and 209 State House Road. We work on a membership model, which means you can join for 3 months, 6 months, or annually. For example, if you join for 3 months and you're an adult, it's 3,000 bob for 3 months, or it's 1,500 shillings for kids and teens for 3 months. We also have a free membership called Chapter 1. That means if you want to come read at the library, just sign up for the free membership and you can just chill. You can borrow 1 book at a time or 2 books at a time. And and if you want a book we don't have, we actually get it on our list for you.
All right.
That's basically how we work. You can find us online. We have a website and on Instagram, and we're pretty cool. I'm happy.
All right.
Yeah.
Kindly introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Kevin Jared Hussein. I'm a novelist, fiction writer from the island state of Trinidad and Tobago. That's in the Caribbean, the southernmost island in the Caribbean. And, I was invited here to the Macondo Literary Festival as a guest and as a connection between Africa and the Caribbean. I'm very privileged to do so. And that's what I'm here for.
All right.
Yeah.
So you have a desk and you're doing your book signing.
Yeah.
The Hungry Ghosts. Tell us about the Hungry Ghosts.
Okay, so what a hungry ghost is, if it's a mythological being, and it comes from Hinduism and Buddhism. And if you were to imagine it, imagine like a small man with a very small mouth, a very thin neck, but a very large belly, and a ravenous appetite. But because of his small mouth, there's no way to satisfy that appetite. So the book is not about ghosts, but it's a metaphor for the people at the time of 1940s Trinidad, about a family that lives in a barrack. That's a wooden structure that's broken down. It floods. It's full of disease. They're impoverished, and they want to get out and move into the village, but there seems to be no way for them to escape. So in terms of this, it's like they're hungering for something that they can never have. And the novel is based around a family that lives within that barrack structure until the father gets a job as a night watchman for a very rich man who has disappeared, and his wife has hired him to guard her. And that decision that he makes to move into the house of that woman, that causes catastrophic effects for not only his family, but all the other families within the barrack.
Yeah. So you told me that this is your first adult work.
Yeah.
So you've been doing other works before. Just take us through your work. What are your previous works, and how did you find yourself? What caused the transition?
I started with short stories, and I'd won the Commonwealth Short Story Prize, which is a prize that's offered to 5 different regions. Africa is actually one of the regions, and we also had winners from Africa as well. And I started with children's books because I was a secondary school teacher, and it was easy to access other schools and school libraries. So I started with children's books because I taught children. I wanted to write something that would encourage them to read. And then I wrote a book for a mystery novel for teenagers. And I don't know, I wanted to try my hand at an adult novel.
Yeah.
And Hungry Ghost was that.
All right. So you say you used to be a teacher.
Yeah.
You still teach?
I tutor online, but I taught for 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm looking into the business side of literature. Yeah. How has it been for you?
Well, it has been great. Well, this book is published in the UK and North America, but it also has 9 translations. The UK publisher for the book, which is Bloomsbury, which is also the publisher of Harry Potter, has been very good to me in terms of marketing, distribution, editing. It takes publishing to a whole other level when there's that much care involved in the product.
Yeah. How has it been for you? How would you rate the festival so far?
It's great. So this is like my first time to the continent, the African continent, and I would say Nairobi is a very good first impression. In terms of the festival, I think what stands out to me is the number of young people that are here. Yeah. I've been to many festivals around the world, and usually you might see middle-aged or older folks engaging with the literature, including my own country.
Yeah.
And here, I think there's a number of different events, and I see that there's a children's corner. I don't know if you call that the barassa over there, but I saw some young people discussing poetry.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's great to see that there's a real demand for literature from many different audiences. So it's good that this festival is supplying.
Yeah. So my Kenyan audience and people who are meeting you today for the very first time, how can they find you? Where do they find your works? And how can they continue interacting with you beyond this conversation today?
Sure. So, well, my name is Kevin Jared Hussein, and you can find me on social media. You can find me on Instagram under K Jared Hussein. I usually just post business things there, maybe things about trips, but I do engage with audiences and reply to messages there. Not on much other social media, but I'm sure if you look me up, you can see who my publisher is, who my publishers are, who my agent is, if you want to contact me professionally. But if you're just a reader and you want to just ask me a question, or you want me to virtually attend a book club, you can always reach out to me on Instagram at K Jared Hussein.
All right.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. And you can find his books at Nuria, who are our partners on this podcast, and many more. Karibu sana. Thank you so much, Jared.
Thank you.
To somebody who is meeting you today for the very first time, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Akinyi's Plate. I'm the owner of Akinyi's Plate.
Yes.
I sell fish. I deliver fish all over Nairobi and all over Kenya as well, even outside of Kenya. I make very delicious fish meals.
So, why are you here?
Well, I'm here because I love books. Other than fish, cooking fish, I love books so much. So I'm here, and also I'm here to support my friends at Nuria, and just to experience, Macondo Festival and books, and, take in everything. I love books, so that's why I'm here. Yeah.
What is it about Macondo Festival that pulls you into this space?
It's just meeting people who love books as well. It's not every day that you meet people that love books. I've met different people, different books, talk about books, authors are here as well. So I'm so happy about that.
All right.
Yeah.
You say you love books.
Yeah.
What are you currently reading?
Currently, I'm actually reading 2 books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading Humble Pie by Gordon Ramsay. He's a famous chef that I look up to. Aim and Roaming Chef. And then I'm reading a book I got for my birthday present. It's called The Branding. Yeah.
Take us through these 2 books quickly. And so for somebody who is now watching you and is interested to follow, take us through these 2 books.
Majorly for the Ambo Pie, it talks about the journey of starting from zero. For the chef, he started from nothing and built his career over time. So it is a very inspiring book for me because I'm trying to build a career in the culinary world as well, and just life lessons as well, because it's an autobiography. So I get to learn a lot of what we went through, going through similar experiences as well. So it's so easy it's very comforting to read about somebody who has conquered, has gone through the same thing, and has come out, is very famous. So yeah.
I'm sure when you talk about Chef Ramsay, it rings an alarm in very many people's heads.
Yeah.
But how do you compare his journey to yours, perhaps? And what is it about this book that is bringing you closer home, looking at what you're doing?
I would say the challenges, because when you're starting on a journey that you have no idea what it's all about, but you're passionate. So his failures, his journey failing, it's like I'm getting to see him fail. Then it makes sense for my the things I would do wrong. It helps me as well. It's like a guide. And then also just to be inspired of how ambitious he was, and he was eventually he got to his dream. So it inspires me that if I keep at it, I work hard and be passionate, and I'll get to my dreams as well, or even surpass it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you learned about food since you started this business?
When you cook from your heart, it impacts people. Yeah, because my business is called Akenyi's Plate. Reason is every plate matters. So every plate that leaves my kitchen matters. So I put in everything in each plate. So, and it impacts people. When people love and then they enjoy the food and they send reviews, it makes me so much happy. So when you cook it's different from just following a recipe and cooking up something. It's so different when you cook from the heart. So food has made me connect with so many people as well. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So where can somebody find you, and perhaps somebody who needs something like this?
I'm online. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram and TikTok as well. And I have a physical place in Safari Park Press, Long Thicker Road. And my number is 0723 908164. You can hit me up, send me a DM, or even come to my restaurant. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Akenyi's Plate. Thank you so much for coming to the festival, and thank you for also speaking to us on what's on your shelf.
Thank you so
We look
much.
forward one day to sit next to that shelf and talk about all the books you've read.
If you come to the restaurant, I have a small bookshelf there. So
We will go to her restaurant to check out the shelf.
Please come.
All right, and still exploring the Macondo Festival, and I'm here with Jackie Marena, who is an author, and also one of the authors whose books are stocked at Nuria. You'll find Nuria's desk right here. But also, just to allow him to kindly introduce yourself to the people who are meeting you today for the first time.
Hello, my name is Joaquim Marena. I come from West Africa. I'm from Cape Verde Islands, just across the ocean. I mean, 5 kilometers from Senegal. And I write fiction, and my subject mainly is about the African diaspora.
All right. So the book in my hands, Under Our Skin. Tell us a little bit about this book.
These are stories that we can find under our skin as Africans and African heritage. So I write stories. I try to bring stories from the past, from our experience as black people taken from Africa and sent to the Americas or Europe. And I wrote these stories in order to show that we Africans, we've been in Europe for so many years ago, or centuries, and not recently, and that many people might think. And before slavery, there were black people in Europe, and they were considered very smart because many of them were generals in the European armies or professors at universities. So this was way before colonialism and imperialism came to be, and the whites, the Europeans, came to colonize Africa. So we had already a civilization. We had empires here. We had a strong culture, and it's not true that when they came, we had no history. We had nothing. So I write about that, and I try to show that there is another truth. The truth is not what most people know now because they have no information, and I try to help them to understand that Africa has a long story.
Yeah. What is this one core thing you would wish the person who is reading this book takes out from it?
History mostly has been written by the winners, by the colonialists. So we need the other side of history. We need to rewrite. We have to press these former colonial powers to change the narrative. The books the children in Europe they're reading or they have been reading must be changed because it must contain our version, the version of the colonized, because history was not like they wrote or like you find in these books at school, because the colonizers wrote their version. They were the winners, but we do have the opportunity and we must rewrite it, and my book is one way to show that there is another side of the history. And I go back and I pick these stories, these characters, these people that live that must be heard now through the pages of my book, through literature.
Yeah. So this is not your only work. Tell us about your other work.
Well, this is not my. It's my first and only one in English language, but I have other books, other novels that deal with the same subject, which is between Portugal, Cape Verde Islands, and Brazil. I mean, the Portuguese world. And what I do is I go through history and I pick up stories and moments and episodes, very important moments that happen, and I bring them back. I create my characters and I put them in these moments, and I come up with a story, with a fiction, in order to give them a voice that they never had. So that's it.
Thank you so much for your time, and I really look forward to interacting with this work.
Thank you.
All right. I'm here with
Harriet Visser from Barbados.
All right. So just quickly introduce yourself and tell us what you do and how you find yourself here at the Macondo Festival.
Okay. I am a consultant at the Barbados High Commission here in Nairobi, and I'm in charge of diaspora and culture. So I was able to get one of our authors to come down, because I've been in contact with Anya from Macondo for several years. We've been pushing to get an author from Barbados. So finally we have an author here today from Barbados. So I'm here and I'm very excited.
All right. So we'll get to the author, but how has been your experience so far?
Fantastic. Each year it gets better. You know, there are a lot of international acclaimed artists who are here, authors. There are also a lot of Kenya talent, poets and all that. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You said you've been trying to get an author from Barbados to Kenya. It means you've followed the festival for quite some time. So what is it about the festival that makes you feel like it was critical for somebody from Barbados also to come to this festival?
Okay, first it's location. You know, Barbados is in the Caribbean. It's very far from Kenya. And what I wanted was for, you know, connection between Caribbean artists, mainly Barbados, because that's where I'm from, and also with African artists, because I always felt like, as somebody from Barbados, the Caribbean, we need to expose our artists to this side of the world, because normally it's the US, it's England, it's Canada. So the reason why I was pushing for so many years is because I wanted to see a Barbadian artist in the Kenyan market. And Macondo was the perfect place for that.
Tell me about your Kenyan experience. How long have you been around here, and what has been this experience for you?
I've been in Kenya for like more than 10 years. And it's now home for me, and I just love it. I fit in. Everybody thinks, well, everybody seems to be claiming me. The Kikuyus are calling me Mumbi. The Luos are calling me Aquino. I mean, so yeah, so it's a wonderful experience to be here. Yeah.
Yeah. But now when you're looking around the literary culture, how do you compare Barbados and Kenya, for example? Have you had anything that you can look at and say, these are the similarities or maybe these are the differences I've seen so far?
Let me just say, Barbados is a small island. We have a population of like 300,000. Well, 200 and something, but I'll just round it up to like 300,000.
Yeah.
But Kenya is very vibrant. You know, there are a lot of young artists who are up and coming. Last year, we had a poet here from Barbados, and he gave a performance at the Alliance Francaise. I mean, the turnout was amazing. I mean, the talent, and so really we can't compare, to be honest.
Yeah.
We can't compare.
All right. So if there is one thing you want to take out from this year's festival, what will that be?
From this year?
Yeah.
All the amazing artists I've met and the books I bought.
You're living with a full bag.
I have like 5 books. I'm so broke.
But I'm really interested. So currently, what are you reading currently?
Currently, I just finished a book by a Barbadian artist called Sherry Jones. So I just finished that, and this is going to be my next read.
All right. So
Yeah.
what led you to pick this one?
Well, it's very simple. She's from Barbados. She's a fantastic author, and this book is great. So this will be my next read.
All right.
But I bought other books here, yeah. I have other authors in my bag, but I'll start with this next.
Have you explored Kenyan literature?
In terms of books? Or?
In terms of books, yes.
Yeah. I have a few books by Kenyan authors because I support this scene a lot.
Yeah.
But the only one I can actually remember right now is Under the Jacaranda Tree. I bought that a couple years ago. I haven't read it as yet.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe for somebody also who is linking, maybe what would you see as the link between literature, African literature, and perhaps where you come from? There is always a lot of similarity and there's always a lot of comparison between the Caribbean islands and Africa. But now you've lived both experiences. What is this thing you say bring us together or are so similar in us that connect us?
I think it's our ideas. You know, we have a lot of, you know, I think we kind of like think a lot along the same lines in terms of culture and history. And yeah, I think that's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't find an answer.
That is totally fine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for finding time to speak to us. We look forward to interacting with you more. And we look forward also to speaking to Karen Lord.
Yeah.
Yes.
And will I see you in Barbados next year?
We'll try.
Okay.
We'll try.
All right. Thank you very much.
I'm here with Karen Lord, who I'm meeting today for the very first time, and it's her first time in Kenya, an author from Barbados. And she'll tell us more about herself and her work. So Karen, welcome so much to What's on Your Shelf.
Thank you so much.
So for people who are meeting you for the very first time, they'll want to hear it from you. Introduce yourself, tell them who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I am a writer of science fiction and fantasy. That is what I'm known for. I'd also like to call my work sociological fiction because I very much deal with people within their societies, dealing with their histories and so forth. I have been I've been published for, well, this is my first book, Redemption in Indigo, if I may.
Yeah.
This is my first book, and it came out in 2010. It won some awards, and my 5th book was published in 2023, and that was longlisted for the Women's Prize. That was The Blue Beautiful World. I'm looking forward to, there's an anthology I co-edited with 2 colleagues of mine, Malka Older and Annalie Newitz. It's called We Will Rise Again, and it's a collection of stories and essays and interviews on protests, resistance, and hope. And I'm hoping to see in a year or two, I have a novella that I'm hoping that the world will see very soon. And I don't want to say the title because the title might change. So that's about it, really.
All right. So really interesting. This was your first book.
Yes.
Now you're 5 books later.
Yes.
And working on the 6th. But now when you look at the journey since 2010 to date,
Mm-hmm.
the festival in 2025 were really interested in this book.
Yes.
How has the journey been for you since 2010 to where you are at today with Redemption?
So that's an interesting question, because I feel in a way as if you do evolve as a writer, but there are also things that you never let go. One of the reasons why this was so important is that it is based on a West African folktale, and that's why the festival is particularly interested in it. However, the edition you're holding in your hand is a reprint. It's not the original edition. It started off as a publication of an independent small press called Small Bear Press. And we then had Penguin Random House has an imprint called Del Rey that deals with science fiction and fantasy. They bought over the rights from Small Bear Press. So this reprint that you have in your hand actually came out last year. So it's both old and new at the same time.
Yeah.
And in many ways, I did revisit it in a sequel. The sequel's called Unraveling, which is the title at the bottom.
Yeah.
And that was published in 2019, 10 years putting together that sequel because I was trying to challenge myself. So, I would say that, yes, I've changed as a writer. I've evolved, hopefully even improved as a writer. But I think the thing that has changed the most really is the publishing industry. The publishing industry changes a lot. You have to keep on top of it. You have to keep researching.
Yeah.
You have to see where your readers might be. The challenge of writing science fiction and fantasy is there's some people who dismiss it as a genre. And I don't think you can do that with a story like this. Especially a lot of Caribbean literature, we use fantasy elements, we use speculative elements, but it's still very much a story that any reader can access, even if they're not really used to reading science fiction and fantasy.
Yeah. So take us into Redemption. Tell us about this book.
May I read the first paragraph?
Yes, please.
That might be the best possible introduction, because in a way, I feel as if the tone of the book. Okay. A rival of mine once complained that my stories begin awkwardly and end untidily. I'm willing to admit to many faults, but I will not burden my conscience with that one. All my tales are true, drawn from life, and a life story is not a tidy thing. It is a half-tamed horse that you seize on the run and ride with knees and teeth clenched, and then you regretfully slip off as gently and safely as you can, always wondering if you could have gone a few meters more.
Karen, what holds the spine of this book?
What holds what?
The spine of this book. What is this center?
The core of the book. I like that question. So, I would say the core of the book indeed is about redemption, is about the ways in which you are not your best self, you are not kind to people, you do not serve the world as you should, and whether it is possible to come back from a place of darkness and a place of profound, when I use the word sin in the sense of separation from your true self, and to turn again to the light. So that was a journey I was exploring in there, and also maybe continued a little bit in the sequel as well.
What is it that you know now as an author that you wish somebody told you or somebody would have let you know when you're working on this first work?
Okay, well, that's a big question. Let me think about that one for a second. Okay, this is what I wish people had told me. The writing career, there is no connection between the rewards and the talent. You will find a lot of very popular books that are really quite mediocre stories, and you will find some brilliant works that are only known to a few and don't sell very much, and ironically you might hear more about them after the author has died. So sometimes when you're writing, instead of thinking, I want to be a best-selling author, you might want to think more about this in terms of legacy. So my goal has always been, I would like for my books to never be out of print.
So Bennett, how has it been? Tell us about the festival. How's it been your experience so far?
So yearly Macondo happens. We have been partners for 2 years, last year and this year, as the main bookseller. So it's a very beautiful event because there's international authors, there are local authors, they meet their readers. Yeah.
As Nuria, what does this do for you? And how does it help you in the journey you've been on?
Well, as Nuri, it helps us to be exposed out there because if we stock the international authors, their books, and then they come and then they get their books, it's us who sell. It gives us a bigger vision of this is the one stop for African books. Yeah.
I've spoken to one of the gentlemen, one of the authors with whom your books are stocked. Jared. It's called Jared? Kevin Jared?
Yeah, Kevin Jared. Hungry Ghost.
Hungry Ghost.
Yeah.
Tell us about that book. Tell us about what your experience has been with it, with him as an author who's come all the way from Trinidad and Tobago, and you guys as Nuria. What does this bring to you?
Well, it's a beautiful experience because when we promote the local books, we tell them read something you relate to. Somebody writes about Nairobi, you can relate to Nairobi. So you get like Kevin, he's the author from Trinidad. So you get to meet him. So meaning not only the author is from Trinidad, but also you get to experience from him one-on-one. So he talks to you about the book, making it even more interesting. Oh, I've met the author of this book. I've had my book signed. You know, if you're a collector, this is an opportunity. So you have a signed copy, autographed by the author. You know, you can keep it. Unajua the auctioning where value inaenda juu. Yeah, so it's good for readers. But what are the other
authors you've seen who are around here, perhaps that our viewers can also check out?
Yeah, there were 10 authors that came in, and their books are here. There is Riambel, there's Pryor, there is Dr. Karen. That is my favorite book. There's a book called Under Our Skin. I think all Africans should read that book. It's very good on debunking a lot of myths on black. So very nice, very, very nice experience. You see, also you get to meet local authors like Yvonne Adhiambo, the author of Dust, a very recommended book. Also Dragonfly Sea, she gets to autograph your book. Joan Tatia was here. She was autographing her books. The young kids, the Kwani with a Q, they're also here. So it's a very nice experience.
All right. So in case you didn't come to the festival, you've missed out. But as you always know, Nuria will always be there to bring you the books, the people, and the experience.
Asante sana.
Chief himself. You're still at Bazaar Plaza?
First floor. Bazaar Plaza, first floor, room A12. And also again, we are in Nyali now. Yeah.
Now, tell us about that, by the way.
Yeah, it's now 1.5 months. We opened a new branch in Nyali, Links Arcade, first floor. So if you're in the coastal region, you don't need to come to Nairobi. You don't need to order from Nairobi. Just walk in, just order from Nyali. You'll get your book delivered.
How's been Nyali in this 1.5 months?
It's good. It's picking up. And with our mission of changing the reading culture, so focus is on Nyali.
All right.
Yeah.
But also online. The website is?
www.nuriakenya.com.
Asante.
Thank you very much.
What's on your shelf? Subscribe now. Explore the world through literature.